Hello everybody and welcome to Stitch Trek, the show where we talk about Star Trek costumes, where to get them, how to make them. We review ones that you can purchase online. And today I was thoroughly distracted and did something completely different. Because it's my show, and I can do that. It's almost Halloween, and I've decided to merge two of my favorite things. Star Trek and the Addams Family. So here's a really quick video on how to make a crossover costume. Enjoy, and happy Halloween.
This is an original series, Star Trek Women's Uniform. What we're going to do is recreate this in black. Now I've taken my black fabric of choice and folded it in half on the table. What I'm doing now is laying the uniform down and folding the arms in to create a shape that I can copy. Now I cut along the outside, leaving about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now I'm finding the point and cutting through only the top layer back to that point to create that effect on the front collar. I've doubled the rest of my fabric yet again and am laying what I've just cut out from the first section over the next section. You need 2 backs and 2 fronts. Now I'm using the old front piece as a stencil to cut out the collar for the new front piece. Then I slice 1/3 off of one of the front pieces up to that off-center point. I also slice 1/3 off of the back piece. This will create the flaps and the seams necessary. Now I'm going to use fabric chalk to trace the edge I've just created. What I'm going to do later is flip this side over and use that line as a guide to sew this onto the full piece below. Now I'm going to do 2 arced lines. One from about 3 inches under the armpit, up to where the fabric meets the other piece, and one about my hand's width under that, but arcing up to meet at the same point. What I'm doing is faking the spiral seams on the original scant. I will be making an episode later where I show you how to make a scant in full, in colors where it's much easier to see than this. I realize that all of this deep black on deep black is pretty hard to make out. It's time to make some sleeves. I folded my fabric over the long way and then over the short way. I'm measuring the armhole from the tip of my middle finger to the end of my thumb. And I'm just going to cut out a sleeve real quick. That's where the armholes will meet up. And then I cut down the arm. There's 1 sleeve and 2. Here are the front pieces. Now what I'm going to do is take that 2/3 piece, and there are my arced lines. I'm going to use them as guides. I'm going to fold the fabric over on the line and stitch following it, leaving the tiniest margin between the edge and my needle. I'm faking a seam here. And there you have it. After doing both, I end up with nice, clean, faked seams. The next step is to sew the 2 front pieces together, down the line that I created from the point. I'm only going to sew it about 3/4 of the way down, leaving the bottom open to create the flap. Line it up with a chalk line and follow it as straight as possible. And there you have it. The spiral seams and the open flap. Now the problem with this fabric is that it's pretty stretchy, so as soon as I put some weighted trim to the bottom, which I plan on doing, it's gonna look kind of bad. So what I'm gonna do is add support to the back by using some stiff black ribbon. Then when it's one piece, I'll add the sleeves. Now that the sleeves are on, I'm going to add some trim, just to make it look a little more, I don't know, spooky. Now I turn it all inside out, and there's a black version of the original series women's uniform. Time for a collar. I'm cutting out some triangular pieces that fit the neckline, tracing one over the next to make sure they have the same point, then also along the pointed sides, and turn them inside out, and iron. I'll also create a tube of white fabric to make the back collar. I chose an ivory instead of a pure white. I like the way it looks a little better. A quick trick is to sew it so that the rough edge is up. This way when you turn the collar inside out, it looks nice and clean. You'll do the same thing sewing this tube onto the back. So when you twist it right side out, it's a clean edge. Once they're all sewn on, I iron to get things to lay the way I want them to. I've cut out a little badge. I've sewn it on. And now I'm going to add an appropriate image. I'm not sure Wednesday fits into any of the divisions, so I'll give her her own. And now it's time to trim my bangs. They've been getting a little long, and frankly, I'm not a fan. So I'm going to make sure all my edges are sharp and cut it a little longer than I want. This way I have room to straighten. Once I've got them the length I want, I pin them back and we will start makeup. I'm already pretty pale, but I'd like some dramatic smoky eyes and maybe a Vulcan look. That was some black nails. I'm going to go with purple and grays, I think. I'm going to get darker and darker. Underline my eyes with a little purple. Create a slight purple tail. Now to put a more vibrant point on my eyebrows. A little more of a dramatic Vulcan look. I like it so far. Now I'm going to blacken my waterline and deepen the tail. And now for some ears. I like to put my ears on with eyelash glue because it doesn't destroy the ears as quickly. Ears already don't last very long, and at least this way I can get a few more uses out of them. In an episode soon, I'm going to make my own ears because I'm pretty sure the maker of this style has stopped making them, which is heartbreaking. I put some cotton balls in the center area to get the ears to stick to the hollows of my ears. Now for lip color, I'm going to go with a dramatic red and a little highlight. Now to take the ears off, I've put the costume on, but I'm not quite ready to reveal it. I'm going to put some makeup on the prosthetic ear and my own ear to blend the two together a little better. Now a little powder. I'm trying to get all the colors to match. And let's get these bangs right again. Oh, I am liking this. And time for some braids. they're done. I love my hair so much. And the reveal. This came out so fun. I love the collar. The badge is adorable. For rank stripes, I used some silver ribbons. Maybe had a hard time tying that one on the left. It's a little loose. There are the spiral seams. This is absolutely something I would wear on Halloween. Let's go upstairs to some more dramatic, moody lighting. The fringe makes it very fun. I feel like it says Wednesday Addams and Star Trek really well at the same time. I've got some striped tights and the original series woman's uniform boots. And we're done.
This has got to be one of the fastest and most fun costumes I've done. It's super comfortable. I love the Addams Family. I love Star Trek. So this has been a great time. I'm going to get back to what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and that is Charlie X. So I will see you soon, everybody. Live long and prosper. Kapla! And